Hi everybody, my name is Charles Stewart and I want to thank you for taking the time out of your life to watch this video that I put together for you. If you'll take note of the running time, you can determine if you've got the time right now to sit down and watch it in its entirety. If you don't, perhaps you'll make a note of that and come back at a time when you can. There's a lot of great information on here, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Now right off the bat, I want to ask you a question. Who are you? Really? And why are you here? I don't mean watching this video right now, but I mean more like on the planet. Why are you here? And what are you trying to do with your life? In short, I'm trying to get you to ask yourself and determine if you're living a life of significance. Now, what I mean by that isn't necessarily anything at all to do with having already achieved your major life goals, financial independence, if that's your thing, or achieving your dream job or career, or position in life, or a successful entrepreneur, whatever it might be. I'm not talking about you've already achieved those things. That can apply, absolutely. But it could be something just as simple as a very humble beginning and start in which you determine that you are going to create your own destiny. You're going to take the reins at controlling this and not be a person in life who lives in reaction. So hearing that, what all of us as human beings have inside of us that run our biocomputer is a belief system up there, or an idea system, or a relationship with a deity. I actually had someone very dear to me once tell me, I don't have a belief system, Charles. I have a relationship with Christ. So you can describe it however you want, but for purposes of ease communication here today, I'm just going to identify this programming up here in our biocomputer as a belief system. And they're not always good. In fact, sometimes they've got flaws in them. And sometimes when they're allowed to supersede the general perceptions in the life, we can have real problems in the life. Things like, you can tell because there's signs of like dissatisfaction, disappointment, frustration, anger, just general lacks, unhappiness, despondency, depression, just on and on and on. There are things in our biocomputer that sometimes are not right, and things are tried to be brought to our attention. It's probably not good English, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. Things are brought to our attention by way of these negative things in our life that we experience. Maybe we even have some health problems or diseases, all to try and get us to question what we're running our life with up here. Let me give you an example. When you weren't born with these things inside of you. You acquired them, you learned them, you were taught them along the way. Now you as an adult, if you'll be honest right here, you can think of at least one thing in your life where you have learned on your own something that's different than what your idea system or your belief system tells you it should be. For instance, maybe you've been raised that a certain type of race of people are always a certain way, or a certain type of socioeconomic class of people are always a certain way, or in terms of how they behave or act, or opportunities or potentials, or a political affiliation, or whatever it might be. You've been raised that there's always a predetermined or a certain way that things are. And you yourself have had at least one experience where you taught yourself that doesn't always apply. You have learned self-knowledge. You have learned that there's exceptions sometimes to what your programming tells you. That's good. You're supposed to do that, because that begins as you start to learn self-knowledge more and more in your life. You can serve notice to the things up here that are running your programming that no longer serve your best interests. You can start to bring an end to internal like rules and regulations, for lack of a better way to express them right now, things that are not as becoming to you. By doing this process, you can learn to self-actualize or self-realize yourself and become who you truly are, as opposed to who you were raised to be. And not that there's anything wrong with who you were raised to be. It served a very good purpose at the time, getting you to a certain point. An example here would be like when you were a child and you were raised and perhaps you were told to never go outside unsupervised by mom and dad. You couldn't be off playing by yourself. It was unsafe. At the time, that was a good thing for you. and that belief that you had in you that you used quite successfully worked for you. But there's a time where you outgrew it. And in the same way, as an adult, we learn to outgrow the ideas we've got in here, or we're supposed to, if we want to self-actualize, if we want to create our own destiny, if we want to self-realize. So some of those belief systems have problems with them, and it's our job to try and figure out what those are, discard what doesn't work anymore, adapt what does, modify it, and create even new belief systems. How do you go about, if you're not living a life of significance, if you're not creating your own destiny, how do you go about doing that? That's what I want to address in this video right here. It's very important that you get as clear, as crystal clear as absolutely possible about why you have to change your life. Now, if your life is perfect right now and you have no reason or desire to want more, then I'm not talking to you. My apologies for getting you sucked in this far. But I'm talking to individuals who want more for themselves, not because their life is unpleasant or bad or wrong or dissatisfactory. It can be very good. But we all have to grow. We all have to evolve. If we don't, we will die. You were never meant to be born and get in your life to where you're at right now and stop growing, stop developing, stop evolving. No, that's not why you're here. If you do that and you stay in a sort of holding pattern and maintain that lifetime, it's not good. It will lead to a lifetime that's shorter, a quality of life that's less. It leads to a place that's not good. And I'll let it go at that for right now. So if you want your life to improve, if you want it to become better than it is now, that's the good stuff. How do we do it? You have to get as clear of a why as you can possibly get. You don't got to worry about how, just why. You've got to get as clear as you can about why you have to change your life. And how you do it, I'm going to give you some information here that's going to be very valuable if you'll pay attention. What you do in your life is a great thing. Maybe not so great sometimes, but on the whole, I know that there's a lot of good in you watching this video right now. If you don't take care of yourself, and you just meet all the demands and responsibilities that are in your life, and you always attend to others, and always wait to take care of yourself last, and you never get to it. I'll try tomorrow, and you never get to it. I'll try this weekend, you never get to it. All you'll end up doing is exhausting yourself and running yourself into an early grave. Then you can't help anybody. So the solution is for you to take the first 15 minutes, 30 would be more ideal in the beginning, but even 15, even if you've got to set your alarm and get up early, before your day starts, before the day starts to impinge upon you into your brain about what you're supposed to be doing, what you should do, what you have to do, all those things that come into your world on a daily basis that you have to deal with, your life, real life, before those things come in, take 15 minutes, 30 would be more ideal. And if you work graveyard or night, it's just flip the morning to the night. I'm trying to clarify that do this after you've had your large block of sleep and it's starting a new day, if you know what I mean. So with that understanding, if you've got to set your alarm early, do it. And during that 15 minutes or that 30 minutes, nothing else exists for you in the world except you. Just you. We've got to improve your physiological state, and we've got to get you as clear as possible energetically. And this will fast track progress in your life in ways that will really amaze you. So how do we change our physiological state? The second you get out of bed, start stretching. If you have some stretching that you've done before and works for you, use it. If you're not sure what to do, research on the internet and find something that works for you. It shouldn't hurt. It should feel good while you're waking up. This will start to change your physiology. Sorry, tongue twister. It will start to change your physiology in a way that it will open up a more clearer pipeline between your conscious and unconscious self, so that communication can be much more direct, clear, and effective. So as you're stretching, now we've got to get clear with you energetically about why you have to change your life. And this is the part that's going to seem a little bit difficult or hard, but just please bear with me. You've got to use your imagination to paint pictures. You've got to use your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions to paint the most horrendously ugly pictures you possibly can about what will happen to you if you don't change. And I mean, make it just disgusting where it makes you want to throw up or barf or sick to your stomach. And what I mean is just really even graphic. Like, see yourself as having a life that's less, where you end up with some disease and your life is cut short by 2 or 3 decades. And then see extended out from there where your children or your grandchildren or any of your siblings, your loved ones, your family members, but we'll use the children right now because it's very powerful, how your children's lives end up ruined because of you. Because you didn't change, because you chose to not grow, you chose to not develop, you chose to not evolve. And that's not why you're here. You didn't come and share with the world who you really are. You didn't share your gift with the world. And because of that, you paid the ultimate price. It's a wasted life, dead end. And you've caused other people to have wasted lives. Your children can have one broken relationship after another, and one dead end job after another, and no career hope or possibilities, and the total devastation financially, and then they resort to like stealing and they end up incarcerated, and then that causes them to have to live a certain way to survive in there, and then that ruins their life even more, and their life ends up cut short and their quality of life robbed, all because you wouldn't change. You've got to use your energy to paint just the most ugly pictures that are incredibly painful, incredibly dealing with suffering to the soul, to get very clear about why you have to change. That why has to be incredibly clear. This is all during that time when you're waking up and doing your stretching. And then stop and replace that with the opposite. Now take your energy, your imagination, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and paint the most wonderful life you can possibly come up with. I mean, spare no expense. Almost bring tears of joy to your eyes, because it's so amazing how you changed the world, how you've impacted it, how you've created possibilities in others' lives, how because of your example, your children have gone on to have the most amazingly successful lives, and the other lives of others that they touch have, in like kind, continued on and had amazing things happen in their lives. Your children have created things in the world that don't even exist now. You can even create things that don't exist now. Use your imagination to paint that amazing life where, because of being true to who you really are, why you're here, and changing, evolving, growing, becoming who you really are, self-actualizing, you bring affluence into your life. You bring financial abundance in your life. And now you've got the means. You can create something in the world that exists and lives on long after you're dead, that itself is alive and breathing and growing, that can make things happen in the world that are amazing. I mean, just 2 examples on opposite ends of the spectrum would be like children. That you create an organization that never again will children suffer so much environmental stress that their future possibilities are robbed because of socioeconomic conditions or parental environmental conditions, or however you want to say it. You create something that gives people a chance, children, to break patterns, to break cycles, to find a way to opportunities to create greatness in their life because of you and that organization you created. Or it could be on the other end of the spectrum, where elderly people that are out there that are old and they don't have the money and they're hurting, and their quality of life is suffering, their dignity is suffering because they don't have the means to go get the help and assistance they need. They can't even do simple things like go to the bathroom when they need to, or bathe themselves, or do their laundry, or cook their meals, or clean their house. And yet you create an organization that makes sure that that never again happens. And it's an organization that grows and thrives long after you're gone. These are just 2 examples. Maybe you like animals more than people, then forget the people, animals. You create an organization where never again does an animal have to suffer. So there's so many things that you can do with your energy when you are creating this amazing picture in your mind of incredible joy, incredible pleasure. Just spare no expense. It brings tears of joy to your eyes. While you're doing that, getting up in the morning for your personal time, that 15 or 30 minute window, and you do your stretching, as soon as you've done that, take the majority of that window of time, that 15 or 30 minutes, get off your butt and get outside and go walking. Do it in the morning before the weather gets hot. If you live in places like I do in Mesa, Arizona in the summertime, and those of you who know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean. Get out in the morning before it gets hot. And while you're walking, use your energy to get crystal clear. Both the pain and the suffering. What happens if you don't change? Well, you have to absolutely must change. And what will happen when you do? Use your energy in those ways to get crystal clear and find a way to walk with a feeling of gratitude inside of you, to be incredibly thankful for who you are. You were born with an amazing gift inside of you. If you don't know what it is, you need to figure it out, because we need it in the world. This is how the world becomes a better place to live in. If you don't know what your gifts are, ask anyone that you admire or look up to, anyone that you trust. Ask them. Ask them. They'll tell you. Ask them what special qualities or gifts that you have, and they'll tell you. Work on those. Hone them. Develop them. Find a way to bring that out into the world. Now, if all of this sounds too cerebral or too mental or just too impractical and just like blah, 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 I'm not talking to you. Bye. But the rest of you, I am talking to, and I want to try and remind you of something you forgot. If you go look in the mirror and you look in the reflection of the mirror into your eyes deeply, you can see a part of yourself that has changed dramatically in your life, from a child to the adult that you are right now. If you look deeper still yet within that reflection, even though you may have to feel it with your intuition, your feelings, or see it with your inner eyes, so to speak, you can see a part of you that has always felt like this. It's not really changed from a young child to now. And if you live to be 100 years old, this part of you will not really change. It will always feel like this. This is the part of you I'm talking to. This is the part of you that is your soul, your greater self, your essence, the God part of you, however you want to describe it. It's the part of you that's been a lot with you all along in your life. It's been there all along in the background. Your challenge now is to start letting it come into the foreground and share your life and be present in your moments with you, in the choices you make, in the actions you take, with the part of you that has changed dramatically. Now, as you do this, as you bring this into your life more, as you self-actualize more, as you self-realize more, as you grow these ideas up here that tell you who you are, what's possible for you, what you're capable of, and how others are in the world, as you grow those, there are going to be others who are going to be confused by this. They're going to be upset by it. They're not going to understand. And they're going to want to pull you back into the old ways. Don't do it. If you have to, let them go. They may even get really desperate in their attempts. You've got to let them go. And know that there will be others that will come into your life that are more in tune with what you're doing, who will take their place. One day those others may come back to you. But you can't allow that to throw you from why you're here, who you really are, and what you're trying to do with your life. It's absolutely essential that you get in touch with this and you bring this to bear in your life on a daily basis. Now, I don't want to make this sound like some deep spiritual thing. You don't have to do anything in your life to become spiritual. You don't have to do anything to earn the right to have an immortality, an eternity that loves you and respects you and takes care of you. You already got it. You're already a spiritual being. You don't have to do nothing. Just relax. If that's not comfortable for you, let it go. Some of you focus on that on your daily basis. I'm one of those, and there's others like that. But that's fine. You just let that go if that's an issue for you. Don't worry about the spirituality stuff. Just find out, what is it that makes you special? What do you got inside of you? And I already mentioned earlier, one of the ways you can find that out by talking to others you admire or look up to or trust. Whatever that is, bring that out. Share it with the world, because we need it. We need what you have inside of you. Bring it out. This is how it's going to help you to create your own destiny. This is what's going to touch others' lives and create possibilities in it. This is what's going to make you free and so alive and so excited every morning to get out of bed. You're like a little kid when you're ready to run out and greet the day. Now, in this case, you know who you are. You know why you're here. You know what you're trying to do. You don't know how it's going to specifically manifest today, but you're so excited you run out and you willingly and lovingly embrace life, and magic happens. Amazing things happen as they unfold, and you're so excited every day. You're eager to get up and do this. You do this by getting in touch with crystal clear clarity energetically about who you are, why you're here, and what you're trying to do. And you do this by improving your physiological state. Stretch, get up and walk during your special time, and don't let anything intrude on that. Nothing. You can come back to your life in a little bit. Set the alarm if you don't want to rob any time from the rest of your life. As you do this and getting crystal clear by using your energy, your thoughts, feelings, and emotions with your imagination to paint those horrendous pictures that just are gut-wrenching, heartbreaking, what'll happen if you don't change your life and what it does to other people's life, like your children. And then you use your energy for the opposite. It makes you so excited and happy, tears of joy, what you can do in the world if you decide to challenge yourself to grow, to develop yourself, to evolve, to expand the ideas you've got up here that place limitations and internal rules on what's possible for you and who you are and what's possible for others and who they are. Hogwash. You're in control of that. Nobody else is. You're the one that's got to get on top of it. By doing this, this is how you live a life of significance. Now there's so much more here. I don't want to put it in this video. It'll be in a future one. So I'll see you again one day soon. And we'll take this developmentally a step forward. But for right now, use what I've shared in this video to help you start something amazing inside of yourself. Start to come alive and grow. People will see it. They'll comment on it. Mostly good. There's some bad. But we talked about you can't let that throw you from what you need to do. Now, if I've taken my time and energy and effort to put this together for you. Now, to give something back. If you found anything of value or meaning in this, then do me a favor. Go to my website. If you're not already there, the URL will come across the screen here, or it'll be down below in text. Go to my website. If you're not already there, comment on this. Give me some feedback. Tell me what you think. Click my Facebook like button while you're there to help promote the cause. And go buy my books on my website. They're chock full of this information that you can read about, learn about, and use in your life to transform it completely into a life that just exceeds your wildest imaginations. The possibilities are endless. Buy those books. Use them in your life. And then go to my Facebook page. That URL will come here across the screen, or it'll be in text below. Go to my Facebook page and click the like there to help promote the cause. And put some comments on there as well, if you like. And if you want a more personal communication with me on my website, you can go on the contact me and send me an email, or you can just directly communicate with my email right here. I'll put it across the screen, or it'll be down below in text. And I'll try and process those in as timely of a manner as possible. In fact, if someone's watching this and you would like me to share this in a much more expanded, fuller version with a small group of people, or even a large group, it could be 10,000 people, I'm ready. Not tomorrow, right now, I'm ready. Contact me. Tell me how much time I've got, what you have in mind, and I can turn it into an amazing experience where we challenge people in the most fun way to learn something about themselves and life that gets them so excited about the possibilities that it automatically increases their productivity, their belief in themselves, making better choices that results in better behaviors. I mean, there's just no limit to it. So if you're one of those individuals, please get in touch with me through the email. So with that, I'm going to bring this to an end and tell you one more time, my name is Charles Stewart, and I want to thank you once again for taking your time out of your life to watch this video on how to determine and go about living a life of significance.